Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hi, Paul. I'm great. I'm great. Except for the air conditioning situation right now.
Yeah, we're kind of talking in the heat of the early summer here.
Woo.
100-degree day, but we're going to work with it. Amy Gamper's here, folks. Actress, host, spokesperson, lifestyle model. God, you're the Swiss Army knife of performers, Aim. You do it all.
Aw, I love that. Thank you.
We first met years back. I helped you out with one of your first demo reels, and here you are.
Yep.
We've been at this for a minute, haven't we?
I have. Yeah, it's been almost 10 years now. So this has been a little bit of a late life career for me, later in life.
So later in life. So take me into what you were doing prior to this and what started you into our business.
Yeah. So before this, I was a stay-at-home mom for 10 years. And before that, I lived in New York City and was in the publishing industry doing marketing and events for magazines. So nothing to do with this. And now I look back on that time that I was in New York, and I can't believe that I spent almost 10 years in New York and what I would give to have those years back. And I could have done this. That is one of my biggest points, is that I don't think I was ready for it. And I think sometimes it takes life experience. It takes just a lot of things before you on that journey, before you get to this point. And for me, it took me that long. But it's not like I just started out of nowhere. I was a child, like I loved acting as a kid. So I did musical theater. I did everything I could possibly do. Speech and debate team, everything.
Yeah, same here. I didn't have the gumption in my early years. I always wanted to do it too, but somewhere in me, whether it was nature or nurture, there was this mentality and thought of that's for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I came from more, of a blue collar, bootstraps, environment where things are more practical.
Yeah.
And I had to sit in a cubicle at a company for 11 years before my soul finally cried uncle and said, you know what, Paul, you better give this a shot.
Yeah.
So I get it totally. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So first things first, according to your Instagram, you had quite the gig recently. Is there anything that you can reveal about this dream shoot you recently had?
Ooh, which one? I've had a couple of good ones.
I saw palm trees. So I'm guessing it was somewhere south.
Oh, that was fun. Okay, so that was not for a commercial. That was actually, and this is a great point, that was marketing. I'm doing marketing for myself. I just feel like we constantly have to keep up with creating things for our portfolio, and I needed a lifestyle shoot. So there was a great photographer who, is from this area, Joe Kelly. I don't know if you know him.
I do.
He moved down to Florida, and we got rained out in Pennsylvania a few weeks ago, and he's like, come down to Florida. And it was a great day. It was super fun. We got tons of content and great stuff. So I'm going to use that for my portfolio for the lifestyle modeling portion. So I'm just trying to expand. You got to, nowadays, you just can't do one thing. You got to do all these different things. So that's part of it.
I find that really incredible. Amy. Like most of us, 99% of us are just going to go and get a headshot session done somewhere in the region. You went to a location with a photographer of your choice and you just went all out.
I did.
That's awesome. That's so
Paul.
awesome.
I feel very strongly that and it wasn't that expensive, believe it or not. I got, cheap flight. You got to spend money to make the money. And I hate to say that, but this is the industry. When I elevated my headshots a little bit, it really makes a difference. It's important. These are our only tools that we have, for that very initial, first look. So they're important.
Right. And speaking of headshots, I noticed your new ones. Did you go to LA and work with Emily Lambert for that?
Yes. So, but I did not. So I timed that with a fabulous, a work trip. I was in Las Vegas for something. And then my daughter lives in LA. So I doubled up. She was in school. She just graduated from UCLA. And yeah, she's in the entertainment industry now too, which is great, but she's on the other side. I went to visit her and I timed it with Emily. So it was, that was just a win-win, and she was wonderful.
What's the bedside manner of someone like Emily? Is there a difference in the LA headshot experience versus that on the East Coast?
Great question. Well, she was wonderful. She helped me a little bit more with with styling. I felt like the hair and makeup situation, and for a female, that's super important. That was really good and elevated. I had a really good hair and makeup artist who just, nowadays people are casting directors and agencies are looking at your hair, especially for women. They want to see all different combinations. They want to see the messy bun. They want to see it straight. They want to see. So I needed someone that was really versatile, and she delivered. It was great. And yeah, Emily's just fun. Like, she used a little fan. Oh, I love that. The little wind, to make you.
It creates a dynamic shot, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And she was just fun. She was like really happy and made me feel really comfortable. So.
And it was your daughter that spotted you on a billboard on Hollywood Boulevard for a DC ad?
Yes, that was so fun. Actually, one of my college friends was visiting his kid and drove by. He was going to the Chinese theater or something, and he looked up and saw me. So I immediately called my daughter. I said, "Oh my God, before they take the billboard down, get in your car."
That's a trip. I mean, like a DC ad in LA. Like, who knew?
Yeah. Crazy. They were promoting World Pride Day in DC, and I happened to get in this ad with a good friend of mine, Alex. We've been cast twice together, which is funny. And yeah, they just loved this ad. It was in the New York subway too, I guess. So that was fun, but small little job. It turned out to be a big, fun thing.
Hey, if you can't get Times Square for a billboard, then get Hollywood Boulevard. So,
yes, I'll take it. Seriously.
I would take that too. And it's always wonderful when you get to work with friends, because then it's not even work.
Yeah. I so agree with that. It's such a fun day.
Well, some of your commercial credits I've been looking up just to catch up with you include T-Mobile, JP Morgan, the American Academy of Physician Associates, Five Below, and then you've also done work for Garmin, John Deere, and Match.com. Any particular commercial gig that stands out to you as being significant or special in your mind?
I have to say the T-Mobile ad was really fun. That was, it just anytime I show up on a set with, and a client like that, it's pretty special. And like the guy sitting next to me, the guy in the middle, is he doing amazing. He's from LA. So, I don't know if you're noticing this, but I'm showing up on set. There's tons of actors that I'm working with now that are from the other coast. That was pretty special working with him. He was just so much energy and great. Both of the guys were, so that was fun. Five Below was really cool too, because it was like in the fall, I think, and it showed up. I'm driving down. You know what that's like when you drive down and you first see all the trucks and everything, all the setup. It was all set up. It looked like Home Alone. It was like the whole house was decorated on the outside with Christmas decorations, and it was really fun. They must have taken like a lot of time setting that up, and then there was a celebrity dog on set, Scuttlebunch.
Celebrity dog?
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. I got to hang out with Scuttlebunch.
Scuttlebunch. Oh my God. It's something when the dog gets top billing. It's higher on the call sheet than the human.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I've had an experience
Everyone
or two
has
like
to
that.
be quiet and tiptoe because the cat on set needs quiet. And, the cat's at Crafty right now.
The cat's at Crafty.
The cat's at Crafty, so no one can be near the cat.
Oh my God. It's always
that
kids
reminds
and
me,
animals.
another fun job actually I did 2 years ago with Real American Hardwood. You probably saw it in the thing. That they brought in real sheep. For my thing, the sheep did not do their job that morning. So that was an issue. So the director had to get out there, even though the sheep were there, the director had to get out and pretend he was the sheep bawling at me to get a response, even though I didn't really need that, but I appreciated it. It was a good prompt.
Right.
But the darn sheep, they didn't. Yeah, anytime you're working with animals, I don't know if you've had commercials where it's risky. It is so risky, but it's funny. They do stuff.
Yeah. 6 weeks ago, I worked with a donkey on a soundstage. It was for big ass fans, and it took an hour to get one tracking shot down. So they told me, whatever you do, don't look at the donkey. Don't look the donkey in the eye. I'm like, okay. So I could feel the donkey. I could smell the donkey 2 feet away from me. So I have the donkey here, the camera here. my other actors on my other side, and I have a production assistant feeding the donkey treats under the camera so that it'll stay calm for about 5 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
And
Oh
I'm
my
looking on a 45-degree angle away from the donkey. So
Right. Don't
in the
look at the
commercial,
donkey.
yeah, they manipulated the donkey's facial movements in post, obviously, but the donkey was real. So it's kids, animals, sheep, donkeys. We're
Oh,
just
and the
adding,
kids.
and
Yeah.
kids. Yeah,
The kid thing. Yeah. I work with tons of kids at my age, obviously they're my children, but
Do you find that some of those kids, they have a ton of energy and they're incorrigible, and then some can clam up a bit? I've noticed that in audition situations with the younger children where they're great at home. Mom always says, "Oh, I don't understand what's happening here." But then when they get in front of a stranger, they're kind of,
yeah.
they're very timid.
Yeah.
What have your experiences have been?
I have been, ever since when I started, I've been very particular because I'm a mom of 2 kids, and I know when I go on set, and the minute those kids come on set with me, if I'm in hair and makeup or something, I immediately try to connect. I immediately try to make a connection with them because I feel like it's my job too to make the kids feel comfortable, because I don't want them to not feel like, so I always joke, hey, I'm your mom today. Oh my gosh, come in, give me a hug. And, so I try to connect with them right away. And then I'll talk to them about like things they love to do. And so I like have full conversations before we go on set, just so that, they're calm. A lot of these kids, for some of these big ads though, they don't need it. Like, they are good. Like, casting is good. They bring them on. I had one situation where the crafty table had a Skittles bowl. That was a nightmare. We were working for many hours, and 3 hours in, the kid was a mess. And it took us hours to shoot this one thing. And I'm like, that's because you put the Skittles bowl out there. Like, are you crazy? The kid was just popping Skittles like there was no tomorrow. But I don't think
Skittles.
Mom even paid attention. Anyway, so yeah, that's also, that can be challenging at times with the kids.
Skittles are hazardous on film shoots.
I'm like, don't
Make
put them
note,
on
producers,
accident.
no Skittles.
Oh, yes.
Well, I haven't talked with you since before the pandemic, and that was, in our world, that was one way of doing business, and now we're in a different way of doing things. And you mentioned on the T-Mobile ad, other actors from the other coast being in our neck of the woods to do work. How are you finding the self-tape world, and how are you finding the audition process these days? Is it more competitive? Are you booking as much as you did before the pandemic?
It is so competitive. So if I get a call back, to me, that is a huge win. I'm finding I'm getting half the amount probably of callbacks that I did pre-pandemic, pre-COVID. It definitely, it changed the mark. Everything just expanded. I mean, I'll be on a callback. I'm sure you've noticed this too. If you see some of the other actors in the room with you, they're from Chicago, they're from LA, they're from Florida. I mean, we are competing against everyone now. So that's a double-edged sword. I mean, that it's like that can work for us too, because we can go to LA and we can compete with that market if we want, but it's hard to get the work. And I also feel like I love the pro here is that I love not getting in my car and driving. I mean, I was getting on that darn bus to go to New York City for literally, I think one of my auditions. By the time I got there, I was soaking mess. I had to go in the bathroom. All that. You're wiping yourself down, cleaning yourself up, because I just gotten off this dang bus that was awful and not air conditioned. And you show up, you get 2 minutes to do your thing. And this time, I messed up. I was so mad at myself. I was like, I can't believe I came all this way. I think there was just too much pressure. So that I don't miss. I just don't miss it. They are doing, in-person callbacks now. And I did go back. I did for that JP Morgan ad. I was like, I'm going back. I'm gonna do this callback because, so I'm going back to New York, and I did it. And I knew, I was like, oh, what are the chances of me getting this? But I got it. And so I was so glad. And I went in that room and I did make one mistake. And this is the first time I've ever had this happen. I don't know why I thought this in my head, but I was like, I need another chance and I'm just going to ask for it. What have I got to lose? So I looked at the director and I said, you know what? I didn't do that the way you asked me to do that. Can I just do that again? And she said, oh my gosh, of course. So I went back, did it again, did it exactly the way I wanted to do it. Done. Walked out of there and I thought, oh God, that was a mess, and then I booked it. So don't be afraid to ask. I was like, so that was a lesson that I learned. Don't be afraid to ask. It's 30 seconds more of their time. And she did not mind at all. So usually I get a little timid and I'm like, oh gosh, but she liked that. She appreciated it, actually.
Good on you for taking control in the moment.
Yeah, I think you have to a little bit sometimes. You just, and I think she saw it as sort of a confidence thing. Like, oh, she knew she didn't do that right. She wanted another chance. And we're all human, we're human. We make mistakes. So, and I was like, I did not come all this way to do that.
I understand. And I have not complained one bit in the self-tape world, because for me, it's a whole day saved and $50, $60 in transportation costs. And I understand when you go up there and the pressure is there to execute. And I had one audition once for the Blacklist where I was a reporter and I had a bit of a monologue to deliver. And long story short, they gave me 3 shots at it and I could not get one clean take. And I had to spend the next 2.5 hours getting home, walking to the train station, being on the train, driving home with that thought of utter failure in my mind and just berating myself, for hours and then days afterwards. Like, how can you, do that in a situation where you have to be on? So I don't miss that pressure.
No, a lot of pressure.
But I do like the callbacks being in person again, because Jason Loftus, who I interviewed recently on this podcast, talked about how silly it is to have Zoom chemistry reads and callbacks.
Absolutely.
It's wonky,
yeah.
It's awkward, and if we can be organic in the room for everyone to see in a callback situation, fine, I get that, I understand that. But for initial auditions, especially where the client doesn't know what they want, keep it a self-tape, because I think we all appreciate that.
But I don't know if you've noticed this, but I'm getting frustrated with recently the setups, the requiring us to sit on a park bench and film, this scenario and do this. And sometimes I feel like I'm a trained monkey. I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta put this hat on my head. And, I love the creativity of my auditions, and I look at it as that. It's practice. It's not just work, it's creative. It's being creative. I'm like, oh, how am I going to do this? And, how am I going to get sort of a comedic thing? But sometimes the asking of shoot a picture of you walking up the steps and your arm is like this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, or hold a cup so that your fingers are, exactly like, you know how long that takes to take pictures of this. So that's frustrating.
Then we get picky about it. Then we get really picky and anal and choosy about what looks good and what doesn't, especially on auditions where they turn into short films. 2, 3, 4 setups. Go in your car, go up the steps, like you said.
Yeah.
Go outside and run.
Yeah. How can you film yourself in a car without someone filming you? And I don't have people around me that are doing that. And when I do, they hate it when I ask.
I've learned just to take it all on myself. It's because nobody else could do it the way I want them to do it. So it's like,
I know. I
have I use a cardboard box on a bar stool to pull the focus, and then I lock that in. Then I take the place of the box. So I have my own little tricks in my workflow that works for me. But yeah.
I need to hear
anything
about
that will sit and take because the camera I use doesn't have automatic focus on it. So I use an old DSLR. But what I like about it is the ISO settings I can change. So I could work in very low light. I could work in an abundance of light and use that ISO light sensitivity to make the shot, or the exposure, at least the way I want it.
I probably limit myself a bit. I only shoot in natural light because I think I like the way my eyes look. I'm very particular about the hours that I shoot in if I can. Very rarely do I film at night, but I've got the setup. I don't know. I like the natural.
Oh yeah, if 99% of the time I'm facing a southern facing window that I'm lucky to have.
Yeah.
I totally agree. It's, hot key lights don't work all the time. Put yourself in front of a mirror, actors, or a window.
Yeah.
And that's usually the way to go.
But yeah, I do. I like the self-tapes. There's been a lot of them. And I have friends who you probably know, we commiserate all the time. Like, oh my God, there are days where you have several tapes in a row. And women, we have to do hair and makeup. We gotta, so there's an additional, my male friend, he's always like, I said, hey, listen, at least you don't have to like every single time someone asks you to film something, you gotta do hair and makeup and the whole thing.
Some of us do.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
I'm always looking in the miror, always. But it's
I know. We're so hard on ourselves.
To an extent,
Yeah.
Because it's, the breakdowns in my auditions, I could be skewing younger, I could be skewing older. And it's like, do I have a 5 o'clock shadow today? Am I clean shaven? Should I touch up the hair a bit? Like, what do I do?
Yeah, that's true. You guys do have some hair things. That's true.
For sure.
Facial hair.
Well, it's not just commercials with you and modeling. You did a flick called The Pregnancy Promise.
Yeah.
So what is the Lifetime Movie Network experience like?
So that was funny. That I did not really, that I self-submitted for and didn't realize what it was until I got on set. That was cast out of LA. That was a really cool job. I was like, oh, Ohio. I'm from Ohio. So I thought, oh, I'll just pair this with a visit to my family. So I fly home and I get in the car and I drive to Columbus and I show up on set. And the hair and makeup person, she was fantastic. And she's like, well, you know what this is for? And I was like, what? She said, this is going to be on Lifetime. And I said, oh my gosh, my dream is to be like, my kids joke about it. I love Hallmark. Like, I'm going to admit it. It's so embarrassing. I want to be on a Hallmark movie someday.
Nothing embarrassing about that.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. And my friends teased me because it was, about teen pregnancy. It was silly, but it was exciting. It was fun to be on a TV film set, and it was great. We had a great day. Great actors. It's so refreshing to be on set with people that are that good. And it was just so easy. So easy. So yeah, I loved it. It was great. I was in it for like two or three scenes, but it was something.
It's a professional shoot. It's a professional production, whether it's Lifetime, Hallmark, TV.
I had a little screening at home. I was so worried. Because I've had this happen to friends where you set everybody up, you're eating the popcorn, right? You're like, where am I? And then you're cut. You're not in it. But the director, I had reached out to him on Instagram and he was like, you're in it. Don't worry. So I kind of knew at the time. He was sweet.
That's funny. Like when I did my first recurring character on a TV series, the series had a showing or a panel at a Comic-Con in New York to promote the season. And I went all the way to New York. I went to the panel just so I could confront the showrunner and say, hey, remember me? You hired me. Am I in the did I make the cut? Oh yeah, Paul, you made the cut. And then they showed the teaser for the season and bang, there I was. And I laid an egg. I was so excited.
That is so exciting, right?
But that's the extent to which I went just to confirm I was in the final cut because I've been burned too many times prior to that.
I can't believe you did that. That's awesome. That is so great. No, I have a quick funny story during COVID. So long time ago, maybe 5 years ago when Wonder Woman came out, I was one of those people in the DMV that region that did the extra thing. And I got pulled to do 2 featured extra things. So I was so excited. My boyfriend at the time, he was like, he's not my fiance, but he was so excited. He's like, oh my God, we're going to see you. He literally rented out a movie theater. It was the funniest thing. So when it took Wonder Woman almost 2 years to come to fruition and be released because of COVID. So we're in the theater and I'm like, this is my scene. I have all my friends in there. Where literally you would have to hit the pause button to see me fly by. We must have filmed that scene with Gal Gadot, I don't know, almost half a day, almost a full day. back and forth. And I was the only extra in it with this little girl. And all you see is me flying by in the back of me. Oh my God. It was so funny. But it was the cutest thing ever that he did that for me. It was fun.
At least you could screen grab, and
I
pause
did, yeah.
your appearance. I've shot things for 3 days and the whole scene gets cut.
Oh,
yeah. That was my initial introduction to this business. I got lucky on a movie in Philly once, 17 years ago, and I thought, this is it. I'm sold. And then I told my whole world about it. And then 16 months later, the movie comes out. We're all in the theater with these shit-eating grins and nothing, gone. No evidence at all of our efforts. And I went, hey, welcome to Hollywood, kid.
Lesson learned.
Lesson
I can't tell you
learned
how
indeed.
many. I mean, I booked a couple commercials, big commercials during COVID that got totally canned. Never came to light. So I couldn't even see them. I didn't even see what they were. So.
They just canned them because of it just didn't work in
Yeah,
the environment.
I don't know what it was. Well, one was just it was like a Toyota ad, and it just didn't happen. They canceled it right before because they didn't want to take the risk. COVID had just happened. So they just didn't even shoot the ad. The other one I shot and spent 3 days shooting, and they never used it. So who knows what that was? If the technology changed because of COVID, it had something to do with the pandemic. But
Okay.
so frustrating. Anyway.
Indeed, it happens always. But it's not just, Lifetime Movie Networks. It's not just commercials. You also are a host and a moderator.
Yeah.
And you've worked with Stansberry Research as a spokesperson and a host, and you get to interview financial experts in webinars, and you got to host their annual conference and alliance in Vegas in 2024.
Yeah.
So is that a strong suit for you, webinar hosting and spokes hosting like that?
So yeah, this was new for me. This was again, you got to do all these different avenues. As you know, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I auditioned for it. Didn't get it originally. And 6 months later, they called me in and they're like, we want you to do this. And so I interview their financial experts. Sometimes I do it live. Sometimes I do it, mostly it's filmed. And we've got like 6 teleprompters and I travel with them. And it is the best job ever. I love the team. And I'm in my 4th year with them. So, and they just asked me to MC their conference this year. So it's so fun. And that's the moment where like, oh my gosh, you're in the Aria Hotel and you're in Vegas and it's great. It's fun. I don't mind the live performance stuff because I did acting as a child and, speech and debate when I was little. So I don't mind being on a stage with hundreds of people. So, and I have a teleprompter too to help me out. So.
Yeah, I'm relying on prompters more than ever. Like I just did a gig yesterday where I'm like, you're going to have a prompter for this spoke shoot, right? Because I just think that the phone scrolling and how we're being weaned onto short form content is to some extent eroding our capacity to be patient and memorize and focus. And it might be whittling away our brain power a bit. So I do appreciate the prompters.
Oh boy, I love the prompters. I understand why they don't use them. They want that like natural. But sometimes when they ask you, sometimes I won't get a script for something until like 2 days before. And it's, a full page or 2 pages of script that you have to memorize. So that's when I appreciate a prompter. And I'm noticing more and more casting directors requesting the, client to like provide it for those kind of shoots. So it's very helpful. And yeah, I love the prompter. With Stansberry, sometimes I'll be on 4 prompters. So it's a little bit of a special skill.
Indeed, I was going to say.
And you got to make it all natural, the transitions and practice makes perfect. I'm sure the first couple times it wasn't as smooth, but now I don't think you even realize that I'm doing it, I guess.
Yeah, it is a skill. If you know how to use the prompter, if you know how to speak based on the words you're reading, then it acts as if the prompter isn't even there.
Yeah.
So it is a skill. And did the Stansberry job come about from a random audition? Like, how did you book it?
Yeah. It was an audition. It was just a random audition. They decided that they needed, an actor to sort of play off of their real people, their real financial people. And I think they wanted someone relatable. They wanted like someone that, because their audience is like people like us who are investors and they're investing their own money. They're not going through, big banks or, investing firms. They're using their own money to buy stocks and stuff. So they wanted somebody a little more, and I guess they felt like, the more of a softer approach. And because some of these guys are very, they're very financial and they're super, super smart, and it works well. We have fun. We have so much fun. And I've gotten to travel a lot with them, and it's a great job. It's a great gig. So
Isn't it wonderful when you book one particular gig and then they like you so much, or it just flows so much that it turns into any number of additional jobs for them? It
yeah.
becomes like your bread and butter.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been amazing. Yeah. So, because there's so much work to get the work now, with commercials and all this. So this is just I don't have to audition for them right now. So
Right. Right.
that is nice.
They could just call you up and say, "Are you available?"
Yeah. Yeah. And they book me like out like a few weeks in advance or whatever. So,
Well, you're in Baltimore now, right?
Yep. I'm in Baltimore.
So does the Baltimore area, like, leading off of Stansberry, does the Baltimore area offer any bread and butter type gigs that you can rely on? Or is there anything in that market that just is always there in terms of a work opportunity? Or do you find yourself looking outside the region for most of your gigs?
I would say it's pretty shut down here. I don't know how you feel. I'm constantly looking my jobs are mostly in like Philadelphia, New York, up and down the East Coast, Midwest. I don't know why. I think the incentives have changed for Baltimore, for this little region. But yeah, it's really quiet. And I'm noticing that from the casting directors here.
So you mentioned the Midwest. Are you one of the actors that is willing to go wherever the gig is and possibly break even or lose money on a job just to have the experience?
So each job I look at very carefully, and I don't ever want to lose money, but there are moments where I am willing, if it's a good brand and I know it's going to be very well produced, I am willing to break even or just make a little bit of money, and I'll travel. So yeah, I'm willing to travel anywhere. I'll go anywhere at this point, wherever I'm booked. The more, I'm sure you're experiencing this also, the more you start traveling, you realize like it's a lot of work to travel, and you're taking away days that you could potentially book something, and or days you could be with your family, and everybody just expects you to drop everything, and now the fittings, sometimes I'm noticing the fittings are booked 2 days out from the shoot. So then you got this dead day. You're like, what am I going to do with this? So like I was just down in Richmond for several days, and they booked my sessions. 2 days were in between. So I just said, hey, I need you to pay for my travel. And they were great. They paid for our down days. They paid for our hotel, and they accommodate. So I just look at it. I'm like, okay, this is a positive. I'm going to go see Richmond. I'm going to visit a friend down there. So I kind of, I take it, I turn it into a positive, and I visit,
Sure.
I do some fun things on there.
And it goes back to that T-Mobile ad where you have West Coast actors coming over here to do work. I'm sure Jason Loftus even alluded to this. I'm sure their agencies are saying, just book the gig and do what you have to do to get there. And that's the bottom line. And that creates a whole new level of pressure, I think, on the modern actor post-COVID.
It's a lot.
It's before we could rely on, okay, well, the assumption was if the gig took place out of town, that you were going to be taken care of and your travel would be there, your hotel would be there. Now it's just like, all right, maybe not. Maybe we'll give you a stipend, but you got to get here. And now that that's become normalized, my God, I don't understand. My old school mentality makes it hard for me to understand how some actors will just accept that, assuming they're accepting that.
No, and I think we need to band together and say, we're not going to do this. You have to pay like a travel, what are they calling it now? A travel fee, like a day that, you get paid for that. That's your time. That is like really valuable time. We could be, and luckily, as you probably bring to your hotel room set like a little, I just bring a little tripod and nothing fancy, but I do my auditions in the hotel and I just keep it, you got to keep it rolling. But yeah, they're asking more and more of us. And it's so frustrating. It's just getting harder and harder.
Well, in my experience, like I would say 99%, 98% of the breakdowns I get, if it's filming outside of the Northeast, they are offering some sort of travel and hotel. I think it's understood. I think it gets into the shady gray area is where out of town agencies are pushing their actors for local work. And they're either convincing or persuading or demanding the talent to say, I understand this is 3,000 miles away. I understand they're only hiring local hires, but it's to your advantage to get this job. You know what I mean? I haven't experienced that. And the rational part of my brain will say, if you're auditioning me in New York or Philly and you want me to go work in Austin or LA or wherever the case may be, I'm like, well, get me there. Why on earth would I dig into my pocket just to go and get to the job that you're asking me to go to? Like,
yeah,
nobody would accept that. I think it's where like we're trying to convince ourselves to be local hires around the globe.
Yeah,
where we have no business being a local hire.
I'm a local hire in Chicago. I have a friend I can sleep on the floor on an air mattress.
That always makes.
We go from this like, and listen, sometimes I'm like, this job almost feels like it has to be. It's like a luxury to do. Like, who can afford to do certain things? And Paul, I turn stuff down a lot because I'm like, I'm not doing that for that amount of money. You can't. You have to turn stuff down. And I'm hoping other people turn stuff down and then they get horrible quality actors because, yeah, I'm like, because how I can't imagine, with people with our experience accepting this stuff for pennies. And you just, you're losing money. And I had a horrible thing that happened to me oh boy, did I learn my lesson. I booked this huge like pharmaceutical job. I was so excited, spent all this money to get to New York, the train, because it was last minute. So when you take the train, it's expensive. You can't get those $50 one-way things. So spend all this money, show up on set. And I'm so excited. They got me all dressed. I'm a doctor. And then I see come out this other doctor. It's a male. I'm like, okay, all right. We're both doctors. And I realize what they're doing. And they keep me on set all day long. And they're shooting both of us. Well, in the end, they decided they wanted to go with the male doctor because all the patients were females, maybe. I don't know. So they cut me. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I get my usage, right? And, at nothing. I got nothing. So I lost money. I lost so much money on that job. And I was so upset because it turned out I think it was a SAG job or something. And I just didn't know the rules. I didn't know that they can do that. Like there was something that happened with the whole thing. And so
you got paid for the day, right?
Got paid the session fee, which was nothing. So that's what I'm saying. I paid more in my travel than what I made, so I'm very, very careful now about all the usage fees and like if it's not guaranteed or blah, 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 you got to just look at all that and weigh the benefits.
So they were effectively auditioning you during the job.
It seemed like it. Yeah, I think so. Because I think there was a male counterpart.
Yeah, things happen. It's, you can never, ever count your chickens before they hatch. I've booked gigs where I thought, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. And then an 8-hour fitting goes by and they say, we'll see you tomorrow. And then 2 hours later, you get an email from your agent saying, you've been released. Like,
so that's not happened to me. Oh, no.
Yeah, it was during COVID. And long story short, the person I was paired up with tested positive. They did not like the backup chemistry wise, so they decided to recast at the 11th hour.
Oh my god!
And that was a $9,000 usage job.
No.
Yeah, so you think you have it, and you're kind of relaxing for a bit, and then we're going to pull that rug out from
It's
underneath
the
you.
rug just, whoosh, and there you go, flying up in the air.
Yeah, COVID has cost me a lot of money.
Yes. Yeah,
with
it did.
missed gigs, other people getting it, costing me. It was a real screw. It really was.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I'm sorry. Gosh.
But it happens, and the positives and negatives that have come out of that, namely at least initial self-tapes, I think have been a lifesaver for most of us. We learn how to self-direct ourselves. We learn how to land in the ballpark. And it's not too big of an ask for an actor to set up a phone, put themselves against a window, and do their thing. It's
Right.
If that's going to save me time and money, then why not?
I agree. I appreciate it's good on the environment too,
Good on the environment too. Yes. So what's the end game for you? Like, is it continuing to work in the capacity you've been working? Do you want to do bigger projects? Any dream roles that you still have? Or is it just, let's keep things going the way they are?
A Hallmark film.
That's right.
I'm kidding. I would love to, I love what I'm doing. I love the commercial work. It's fun. I feel like you show up on set, it's a different group of people, it's a different situation, it's, new people to meet, new experiences. So I do love the commercial work. Would I love to get I've auditioned like a few times this year for a Law and Order, a little spot on Law and Order. Hasn't happened yet, but I'm working towards it. So I would love that. That would be really fun. I'm sort of branching out now into a little lifestyle modeling, doing that. That's kind of a newer thing for me. I just did something for Hamilton Beach that I really loved doing. It was so fun. I did that in Ohio. I don't know, that'll come out in a bit, but I really enjoyed that. So I'm just trying to you got to constantly try different things, work on different skills, create just newness, just trying to keep it fresh, to, keep it moving.
Yeah. It took me 14 years to book Law and Order. So I get it. I understand. Yeah.
14 years. Okay. So I've got 4 more years.
No, you don't have
5
4 more
more
years. It's going to be this year coming up. Trust me.
Thank you. Yes.
But, it's a haul, but I firmly believe the longer you can find a way to survive, the opportunities are going to be there. It's just a question of, are you ready for the opportunities when they come? But you have to survive in the meantime.
Yeah.
That just seems to be the key to the business.
Yeah. And you got to keep up to date with maybe acting classes and some just kind of, I feel like I might need to do a refresh on that at some point, Yeah.
I'm in class. It's 17 years in, I went back to class. And the benefit of that, aside from building a community of actors around you, is that when the Law and Order audition comes in, I'm not breaking a sweat, because we've been doing the scene work in class and we're groomed to be ready for those situations, versus if I didn't have class, I would be doing 20 takes and wondering, did I look right on that shot? Did I look the right way? Did I blink too much? Where is the inflection right? You learn to be comfortable in your instrument, in your person, and it grooms confidence.
Yeah.
Classes.
Yeah. And I'm also I notice I would highly recommend, I've got a really close friend, actor friend, who we whenever we need each other, we read for each other. And he is so talented. He will give me notes. And the one thing I've learned, it's Nick Dottore, Nick.
Oh yeah.
Nick and I.
Nick's the man. Nick is
I'll text him at 9:00 at night. Nick, I need you, and we're always available for each other. It's great. And we give each other notes sometimes, but he has taught me, don't do too many takes. And he is so right. And lately I have just been doing, I used to spend hours, and I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. There's too many auditions to get through. And honestly, yeah, sometimes just right when you do it, it's fresh and it's exactly what you need. I'll do 2 or 3 tags, but usually it's that first 1 or 2, and then the last one is a good one. But he's so right, and just I've learned so much from him, the kind of create the moment at the beginning and then the button at the end, and so find yourself a partner, find yourself a couple of people that you can each learn from and expand your grow from, because it is so freaking lonely. It is lonely out here. I tell my fiance all the time, like, you get to show up in an office and there's people all around you. I'm doing all this work and I'm by myself. So that's why when I listened to your podcast, I was like, oh, this is great. Like I can hear what other people are experiencing and yeah, it's
Thank
helpful.
you. Yeah, the waters are usually calm out there while we're on our surfboards waiting for the waves, for sure. And Nick Dettori is the quintessential actor model. I look up to him. We started around the same time, and I interviewed him in this podcast. We had a great conversation, so look that up if you're interested in hearing Nick's wisdom as well. So what are your pearls of wisdom? What's one or two nuggets that your experiences have taught you that you live with day to day?
I would say, be confident in yourself, be confident in your abilities. I mean, there have been gigs that I have really missed out on because I thought, oh, I can't do that. And it's so not true. I mean, I was on a set once for a lawn vehicle. I won't say the name, but so mad at myself. They're like, so can you drive all right, John Deere. Can you drive a John Deere? Oh, no. And I kind of, hemmed and showed up on set. I did book the job, but I was the dog walker and showed up on set. And I was like, they had a person training the person on the John Deere on set. So I thought, what? So be confident what you can do. If you're not a pro at it, teach yourself. I mean, I had to do an audition for a golf thing and I'm not a golfer, but I called my friend. He came out the next day, taught me swing. We put it up on an audition. I was like, I can golf. So it's like push yourself. Go beyond your boundaries. Be confident. Don't be afraid of trying new things. They want, the special skills. So always be teaching yourself new things. Learn how to read from a teleprompter. Learn how to do it the right way. If you can't pay for lessons, like find someone that does it and just ask them to help you out. Every job, I love every single job. If I'm not like making tons of money, it's still a good job because you're on set, you're exposing yourself to new clients. You're getting in front of the casting director every time. Sometimes I just, all I want to do is turn down an audition. And I'm like, nope, you know what? I've never been in front of that casting agency. So I'm going to do this audition. Even though I know I'm not going to get it, because it says, oh, age range 20 to 60, and they want someone multi-ethnic, I know I'm not getting this, right? But I'm like, but I'm going to get in front of that casting director. So take every opportunity you can.
It's an opportunity to make an impression in front of someone. It's like you're walking in and you're giving them your business card. And as far as the John Deere thing goes, let's be honest, if they like your look, they'll teach you to do anything.
That's right.
They really will. So it also comes down to being confident in your person and what you bring to the table, whatever that may be.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, just know your worth. So.
Beautiful. Yeah, you dropped a lot of wisdom bombs on us today. I appreciate that.
Ooh,
it's been...
I don't know. I hope so. I hope one little thing helped somebody.
Yeah, I know so. Absolutely. It's been a pleasure to catch up with you again. And where can people find out about what you're up to? What's your socials?
Well, I have to say Instagram, baby. Amy_Gamper. I mean, I'm just trying to, I don't have a website yet, but I've got a few agents, so my portfolios are up there, but probably my Instagram page, I'm trying to keep it fresh and release my work and what I'm doing in my personal life too.
Nice.
So.
And also look at Amy's Instagram for her latest headshots too with Emily. They are just exquisite. They are gorgeous. If you want examples of what a great and true headshot looks like.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Paul, congrats to you. Every single time I'm seeing you doing all these new things, I'm so excited that you're doing this podcast for everybody.
Just trying to connect us all. That's all.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate coming to the water cooler with you today.
Always a pleasure, Aim. And I sincerely hope and trust that another pandemic will not take place before we catch up again.
Can't take it.
Me neither. But in the meantime, get out there, continue to do your good work, and I'll see you on billboards. I'll see you on my phone. I'll see you on TV.
Hopefully on set.
And on set. We are way overdue.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Aim. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Take care.